So the Clone Wars started with the Battle of Geonosis, the massive Republic invasion of the Separatist-held world, but the battle would repeat itself a few months into the war, so I figured today we'd take a look at what exactly led to a second invasion of Geonosis and how the planet fell back under Separatist control. I'm Colin, and this is Sci-Fi Deep Dive. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to head down below and hit that subscribe button. So yeah, the Battle of Geonosis happened twice. There was a first Battle of Geonosis that was at the very start of the war, and a second Battle of Geonosis that was less than halfway through the conflict. And, well, it seemed like the first battle was generally a Republic victory, even though they didn't really achieve any of their strategic goals. The second battle still occurred. A second Republic invasion was carried out of the planet, so what exactly led to the planet falling back into Separatist control? All of this, though, starts with the first Battle of Geonosis. Republic forces land and are revealed to the galaxy for the first time. The main goals of that battle were to seize the droid control facilities, capture Separatist leadership, and destroy the droid army, of which they only managed to achieve one of those goals, seizing the droid construction facilities, with Separatist leadership escaping and many of the battle droids built also escaping with them. However, after the Battle of Geonosis, the Republic was in a fairly tight spot. The Grand Army of the Republic is far smaller than the Separatist military. Even by the end of the war, the numbers were nowhere near the same. Now, it's said that a single clone trooper is worth 100 droids, but still, when it comes to spreading out your forces, that becomes a little bit of an issue. The Republic was dealing with a serious manpower shortage, and this became a pretty big problem very early on in the conflict. The Republic was basically struggling with the logistic ends of fighting a galaxy-wide war. And with the Separatists carrying out offensives in the early days of the war, the Republic was forced to focus their efforts on stopping those offensives instead of holding onto the territory that they had gained. This meant that a lot of Separatist worlds that had been taken by the Republic in the opening days of the conflict were left basically undefended, with Republic forces being forced to withdraw from worlds like Geonosis, for example. Now, the Republic felt safe in this decision, believing that Geonosis as a threat had been neutralized. After all, many of the droid construction facilities on that planet had been damaged, sabotaged, or neutralized during the battle, so the risk of them being reactivated felt slim. So when Republic forces left, opportunities arose for Separatist sympathizers, particularly on the planet. However, they were able to smuggle in some resources from outside. And it wasn't long before Poggle the Lesser, the former leader of Geonosis who had been driven off the planet during the first battle, was able to return and resume his position as the head of state of that world. With Poggle the Lesser back on the planet and back in power, and the Republic forces basically forced off the world by the conflict going on elsewhere in the galaxy, it was really as simple as restarting the droid construction facilities and calling in some Separatist backup into the already secured system. The end result was that the Separatists were basically able to rebuild much of the infrastructure that was lost during the battle, particularly around a few key points, mainly centering around several heavy manufacturing facilities. These heavy manufacturing facilities, however, were very capable, mainly used for the production of large ground vehicles and vast quantities of battle droids, the same thing that they had been used for before. The only difference was the Separatists were now starting to face similar problems what the Republic had faced. Now, the Separatists did have a much larger military, but in general, a single clone is worth 100 battle droids, so the power balance is skewed a little bit, and the Separatists kind of had to counter that. The end result was that the Separatist droids were generally needed for their offensives and holding key strategic worlds, where Geonosis was considered to be relatively safe. Still, it wasn't left completely undefended. Instead, the defense could fall to the local population, something that we actually see fairly frequently within Separatist-held territory, at least in the territory that's loyal to the CIS. The battle droids would generally carry out offensive maneuvers, while defensive operations would be carried out by a combination of battle droids and the native population, which is exactly what we see on Geonosis. It seems like most of the defenders on Geonosis for the second battle that occurred there were not battle droids, but instead Geonosians who were fighting for their homes. I would like to throw in there, too, that makes them far more determined fighters than any B-1 or B-2 battle droid could possibly be. Ultimately, the end result of all of this is that the Battle of Geonosis had to repeat itself. Geonosis had become a major manufacturing center once again, and had become crucial to the Separatist war effort, so it became crucial to the Republic war effort to destroy it. So that's what led to the second Battle of Geonosis, but if you'd like to learn about the first Battle of Geonosis, I'll leave a link up here to my battle analysis on that engagement where you could learn about how the Clone Wars actually started. And I'd like you to let me know down in the comments whether you think the Republic was right to kind of let their guard down on Geonosis. Do you think it would have been worth leaving some troops on Geonosis if it meant losing ground elsewhere in the galaxy. After all, Geonosis is a major manufacturing hub, so where's the value there? And if you have anything else you'd like to see me cover in Star Wars, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.